In this video, we'll walk through some examples of drawing aliphatic hydrocarbons, including alkanes, alkenes, and alkynes. Our first example, we're going to work through drawing an alkane. And to do this, we're going to break down the name into various parts. So we're going to start by drawing our parent chain. In this case, our parent chain is pentane. Pentane is a 5-carbon chain. So I'm going to start by drawing a 5-carbon chain. So that part is done. Now I'm just going to work from left to right, adding in my various functional groups. And I'm going to number my molecule from left to right just so it's easier. So I'm going to call this carbon 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So my first functional group I see is an ethyl at carbon 3. So I'm just going to erase this little 3, and then I'm going to add an ethyl group. The next functional groups I see are methyls, and I have 2 of them at carbons 2 and 3. So I'm just going to erase this little 2, and I'll throw a methyl at carbon 2 and a methyl at carbon 3. Now typically, if we were to draw this again correctly, we would draw or attempt to draw the correct geometry. So we would have our methyl and then try to mimic a tetrahedral as much as we can. But for the purposes of this course, drawing with a little bit of leeway is okay. So I'm just going to erase my numbers, and so either way is fine. In our second example, we're going to look at drawing an alkene. So same thing, we're going to start with our parent chain, hex 2-ene. So I'll start by drawing hexene, so 6 carbons, and I'll put on carbon 2, so 1, 2, I'll put my double bond. So I've drawn hex 2-ene. On the third carbon, I'm going to draw an ethyl group, and on carbon 5, I'm going to draw a methyl group, so 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. For our last example, we're going to draw an alkyne. So we're going to start the same as an alkane or an alkene and draw oct2-ine. And I'm going to draw this with the incorrect geometry to start so it's easier, and then I'll fix it for my final answer. So I'm going to start with an 8-carbon chain. So that's 8. And on carbon 2, I'm going to have a triple bond. So carbon 2 is going to be the second from the left. And so this is where the geometry is incorrect, because that linear shape should be present around the triple bond. So I'll fix that when I draw kind of my good copy at the end. So I'm going to add my functional group. In this case, my functional group is 4-propyl. So on carbon 1, 2, 3, and 4, I'm going to draw a propyl chain. So there is my molecule, and I'm just going to fix that and draw it with the correct geometry down below. So I'm going to have a pretty straight first 3 carbons, so linear between carbons 2 and 3. So that's 4 carbons, 1, 2, 3, 4. Then the zigzagging can start. So then 5, 6, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and we need 1 more. 8, and then I can draw my propyl group at carbon 4. So that's a more accurate representation of the geometry.